legislature legalized unverifiable voting in 2000.
Like you said to Trump, but they're getting beauty.
They said, go out there and rob these houses and bring
Republicans who get endorsement from Georgia Kerry that they mean anything.
You can't sit on the sidelines any longer. You must get involved in the game. This is your sign.
So again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. And we're going to start this out with a little live music. Everybody likes ZZ Top. Well, we're not doing any today. No, I'm just kidding. We are. That's a little ZZ Top for you, but that's how good we had with Trump. When all the politicians started forgetting what it was all about and what our forefathers wanted under Jesus Christ, I think it was Noah Webster that said, "Can the gracious smiles of heaven be expected on a country, on a republic that forgets the reason why we're here? It's not founded on religion. Our country's founded on the religion of Jesus Christ." And I think everybody knows that. But this song's called Baptized. It's okay. I just learned it 2 days ago, but this is the one that'll make you cry. If you're no Southern Baptist like me. people. A little church on a hill. A line at the altar. And every pew that was filled. Well, I remember the water. The choir singing old hymns. The peace in the valley, yeah. Oh, and the preacher man said, in the name of the Father, the name of the Son, the name of the Spirit, we're washed by the blood and buried with Christ, raised with new life, baptized. I can still hear the sermon. All the people said amen. It was a gift of salvation. Well, you can be born again. And I remember the power, the Holy Spirit rushing in. And there was peace like a river. But oh, and the preacher man said, in the name of the Father, the name of the Son, the name of the Spirit, been washed by the blood and buried in Christ, raised with new life, baptized. Them old stained glass windows and the stories they tell, the memories as clear as the day I was there. All them years I spent running, well, he's given back. Now I'm stepping in, yeah, I'm stepping in. Well, I'm stepping in the name of the Father, the name of the Son, the name of the Spirit, been washed by the blood and buried with Christ, raised with new life, baptized. The name of the Father, the name of the Son, the name of the Spirit, I'm washed by the blood and buried with Christ, raised with new life, baptized. But I can still hear the sermon. A little church on the hill. Told you'd make me cry. If you really think about the words in that song, yeah. All right. This next one, which is my last one, it's a little Stevie Ray Vaughan tune that we put together, and I rewrote the words to it to kind of make fun of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Tony Fauci. So I think you'll like it. Joe now. Vax it, mask it, just use a Fauci tactic. Make it down like bandits on people's taxes. I told you it was funny. Now, we're going to keep rolling with this thing. We're in a live podcast, so I think Kayla and I think Mr. Rolle, we're going to do some, I guess, speaking up here. And we're going to get some people up here, and the mics, we'll get the crowd involved a little bit up later. But Judge Joe Brown is going to be online, on TV right here. Is he ready there, Roy?
He's not in yet. We're waiting on him. I've sent him the link, so hopefully he's going to be in. If you guys want to go ahead and come up, we can go ahead and try to get started a little bit. Welcome everybody to Small Town Underground. This is the first mobile live stream event that we're doing here today. I want to thank Jerry Paris for playing that great music. I want to thank Jerry and Jeff both, Jeff Conley, for coming and helping me get this thing set up. We had a similar event with Joe Brown, as a matter of fact. And everybody hear me out there, right? So okay. So we've kind of got things like ran every which way, and just keep in mind if the live stream drops out, we are recording this whole thing, but we are live Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube, and we're just awaiting Joe Brown to come in, and we're going to plug him in. And Jerry, if you don't care, can you move that camera back over to them on the panel?
Yeah, and I'm gonna move that microphone.
So you're not supposed to be seeing two of me. So there we go, Jeff. You should be able to move them, on them, and just get them centered. So. Gordon and Kayla, both of you guys are hooked in, and we've got the mic set up through the PA as well as this. So why don't we just take a moment and each one of y'all introduce yourselves and what we're doing here tonight, okay?
So I'm Kayla Knowles, and I'm the president of the Young Republicans. What we do is we train and elect the next generation of Republicans, and we're here to talk about the plan of strength through prosperity for the future of the United States with Mr. Gordon Rolle from MAGA Black, Georgia.
Thank you.
And you guys,
that very much.
feel free to move your mics as close as you want to you. If I got you guys coming through, so go ahead.
How's this?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, sounds good. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Roy. And I love the music. And it's nice for you all to have us here. I'm Gordon Rolle with Mega Black, Georgia. And Mega Black, Georgia, I'm sorry, before I go further, I'm here also with my lovely wife, Dr. Sonia Francis Rolle. And so we are also celebrating our 18th wedding anniversary today. So we think this is the appropriate thing to do. Than to be out on some island somewhere fighting a storm or something. But I was contacted earlier this year by a pastor, Leon Benjamin, who was a leader of Trump's roundtable when he was last in office. And he came to me because he wanted me to find a plan to reach out to the black male population, 18 to 34, because that population was showing that they were changing from supporting President Biden to supporting Donald Trump. And he wanted to know why, and he wanted to know, something about this group and what made them tick and what were their issues and their concerns. And so as I started to develop that program, of course the campaign went on, and of course you all know the changes that have happened. We went from having President Joe Biden being the nominee to having Kamala Harris, now the vice president being the now nominee for president. And that caused a lot of change with our approach. And then we had our campaign, of course, we had an attempted assassination. And so that led us to the point where we are now. We're on the last several weeks before the election, and we're over with the primary election. Now we know who the candidates are, and I thought about it. I said, we need to change gears. Instead of being this non-profit organization that can't endorse candidates, we are an organization that should be focused on getting out the votes for Donald Trump, and especially in the African American community that I was originally tasked for. But I noticed that community, there's a lot of people on the fence, a lot of people that wanted to, so I had questions out about who is the best person to be president. And so I thought, how better to find a way to do that than get out to the people, have an organization that we go out to the people and talk to the people, go to the different locations around the state and try to make an appeal to people. And what better person to do that with than Judge Brown? Actually, my wife, we have a friend that lives in our community that had been in contact with Judge Brown, and he requested that he get in contact with someone that can get him out and do this, that, and everything. And so we started to plan this tour. Started maybe about 3, maybe 4 weeks ago. I don't know how much time. I know I've been in many phone calls, and then I ran into Kayla here, and she's been really instrumental on making things happen. Not only just for this event, spent many hours, and I don't know what to tell you that anytime that I needed her, she was there. I called her day and night at work, and she never failed. And so, I am definitely in good company up here, and I don't think I could do any better, is what I'm trying to say. And I think, if she ever thought about putting her hat in the ring, you all should get behind her, because she wouldn't let you down. She has not let me down. And so, the tour, I decided to call it the Plan for Strength and Prosperity for the future of our country. And I think that, it's all about us as a society. By trade, I'm an educator. My wife and I both are educators. I actually am a social studies teacher. I teach American government, are taught. Now we have an educational consulting, have an education consulting group where we go out and inspire people for job skill development and apprenticeship. But I would tell my students when they walk into my American government class that first thing I would ask them is, who is the government? Who is the government? And I get all the right different questions, but I said, okay, if I hear the right answer, then you get an A for today's lesson. And if they told me that they are the government, then they got an A. Because everything, and I'm discovering that more and more as I go out to promote this tour, that it's about grassroots. It's about us right here in this room. You know, this is our country. We have to take ownership in this place, these grounds. This is hollow grounds that we're standing in, the VFW. Veterans that have fought and drawn blood for this country, you know, and thank God, we are the strongest country, most powerful country in the world. Our strength has led us to be more influential. And just like was the words that were spoken earlier, we based our Constitution on biblical principles, Christian biblical principles. People were saying, wow, you know, all this about Republicans and conservatism, what's that and all that. And I began to think about that. You know, conservatism is plain and simple. It's conserving the values of our Constitution. It's plain and simple. You know, the building blocks of where we formulate our government. And so, I encourage people of all walks and to be involved in the local communities. That's how we get started. I was at a rally yesterday or a couple days ago, and I had a chance to hear Ralph Reed of Faith and Freedom speak. And he said, you know, what it's about right now is, you know, I know these Democrats are forcing their issues on people. They're getting out and getting, you know, really loud and argumentative. And you know, someone was at a doctor's appointment, and we told the doctor we're going to go Trump. He went ballistic. As a matter of fact, he forgot to prescribe the medicine she was there for. And we said, wow. What, we're going to the pharmacy? You know, no, we don't have anything prescribed. She looked in the records. He did not put in there that she needed her prescription. Because he was caught up with this, I don't know if it's some kind of psychological thing that they're putting out there.
TDS.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just
It's a real thing.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's not right. It's not right. You know, we have, I mean, from our education, I can't help but tell you about how education is turned around in a bad way. And the primary issues of education is to produce productive citizens.
That's right.
And so, for the strength and prosperity of this nation, going through this tour, and you know, by the end of the tour, which I'm planning on it being when the polls close on November 4th, we will have seen a lot of people and inspired people, and got more people out to the polls that can't make up their mind. Believe it or not, as I knock on doors, I still run into people that say, "Well, I'm not going to vote. I don't. It's worse than two evils of it, so I'm just not going to vote." And you know, we have so much on the line. You know, our communities are falling apart. The people, the crime is rampant. Our education, our ethics, our morals, our scruples, our communities as people are just being decimated. And so people say this is the most important election for our country's history. I actually, as a history teacher, I believe that. You know, we've had other elections, but
we don't believe it because it is.
That's right. That's right. To decide the direction of this country, you know, we have some people that are running for office of the highest land, and their background is extremely questionable. Extremely questionable. They're not fit to be in office. And so when I started my conversation with Judge Joe Brown, and you know, he loves to talk, just loves to talk. And so when we started our conversation, he started going, this is a guy that he has somewhat of a similar background. I grew up in Los Angeles. You know, I moved there from North Carolina many years ago. A lot going on with the civil rights movement and everything like that. He was right there. He got me by a decade, but he was right there when all the action was happening. And not only did he become the valedictorian of the high school that he went to, he went on to the UCLA and got his law degree. And from there, he started his profession in law. Many years as a lawyer. He moved to Tennessee, right outside. This not too far from here. What I heard is about an hour and a half drive from here, and established himself as an attorney and soon as a judge. And then for some kind of stroke of luck or something like that, I guess he retired and someone offered him a position on television. And for the last 20 plus years, he had been the nation's most watched judge program show, just like Judge Judy. He and her were back to back. And but that put him in a position of having, in a sphere of influence around people in television and other people that, government and politicians and movie people, they all mix and mingle together, they run in the same crowds and things like that. A chance to experience, to see how some of these people are up close and personal. And being an attorney and a judge, he has that kind of knowledge of what is kosher and not kosher, what is appropriate, not appropriate, what is legal and not legal. And everything from January 6th to the actual ethnicity of Kamala Harris, to Margot, to Fannie Willis, he is an expert to go to for that. And he has that opinion. He'd like to share with you that this afternoon. And as well as being an attorney and a judge, as far as what's going on in the courthouses and how things are playing out every day in America, in our communities, and how it's fair, how it's not fair, how lawfare is being used politically now to eliminate the right of free speech for our number one citizen, the President of the United States. And so, with that said, I turn it over to Roy.
I'm still waiting, so
Okay.
I'd like to ask you a couple questions,
Sure.
mainly about, growing up, I would always, I've got so many friends that are black, I've got friends that are Latino, and growing up in this kind of environment, especially being a Republican and conservative, what's your take on the fact that race is such an issue now to where it's almost like they bring it back and try to keep us divided, It's a shame. We stand on principles. We don't care what people look like, what color their skin, but the Democrats always seem to raise this issue and try to box you into, some words like racist and all these things. What is your take on that?
My take is, Carl, would you like to say? Kayla, excuse me.
Growing up with a brother that was mixed, I experienced a lot of that myself.
Mm-hmm.
People would always think he was adopted and, such and such.
Right.
But they like to divide people based on how they look, and that's not right to do.
No, we should be in a culture, especially where we're at in technology and our history, that we should be coming together as one. We should be coming together as one people, but
Yes.
it seems like that racism is now a great divide and a great money grab. They want to keep us in it's almost like segregation again, the way that they talk and the way that they try to make us feel. And I'm all for breaking that narrative, because I think it's evil how they keep bringing these things up, and we can all sit in a room together and just talk about the principles.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
I'm all an advocate for American pluralism.
There you go.
That's a concept, I think, as a social studies teacher, I'm going to throw some stuff at you. But, it's a concept that we can all live together in a society, no matter what creed, no matter what color. And that goes back thousands of years. Even Plato talked about that, But, and my background is interracial. My grandmother was white. My grandfather, part Cherokee, had ancestry from runaway slaves in Western Carolina. So I guess when they kind of hooked up, it was not really that settled up in Western Carolina at that time, and they could do whatever they wanted to do, But I saw life a little bit different, and So I think that if you really want to know, I think that actually we have some type of, because we are a free nation, anybody can come here. They can teach at our schools, they can live in our communities, but they don't necessarily follow our code of the Constitution, who we are as people. And even, I believe it was Truman spoke way in the early 60s about the Communist Manifesto, and he made that document presented to Congress, how they would come through the media, they would come through Hollywood, and would come through education to criticize who we are as a people. And that way, they would cause a lot of confusion, they would cause a lot of polarization amongst our population. And that has definitely flourished to this point in time where we are in our nation. And the Democratic Party has gone far, far, far to the left. I mean, when I teach class, I say, okay, imagine United States being, as far as the population being on a pendulum, or far to the right, far to the left, but most of the people live within that middle range, moderate. But as far as the political ideology nowadays, especially for the Democrats, it's gone extremely far over the edge, being influenced by China, Soviet Union, Marxists, and these people, if you really look at it, why would Tim Walz make so many visits to China? I mean, over 30 visits to China, it doesn't make sense. Okay, yeah.
Why would he put tampons in every female, every male
All right.
bathroom in the state?
I mean, this goes on and on. They're trying to tear down the morals and scruples of our country, of our nation.
Absolutely.
Just a comment. The further that they continue to break down everybody into groups, the easier it becomes.
Sure. Disenfranchised.
Yeah, and then you also have Alinsky and all of his writings that they've taken to an extreme. And then you have radical feminism, all of those theories that they developed in the 60s and 70s.
That's right. Certainly.
Absolutely.
So,
Socialism. Why? Let me ask you. Why do you think? I mean, you're a history teacher. Obviously, anybody that pays attention to history, if we don't pay attention, we're doomed to repeat it. But why do you think that socialism, communism, all of these things keep coming back up in society? What is the bigger picture here? I mean, I know that
the bigger picture is freedom is not free.
Right.
We have to pay a price. All these veterans out here know. Every so often, we got to go take up arms and got to get out there to protect our country, because they're constantly admiring our country. Wow, we have all these assets, we have all these natural resources, and then on the back of all of that, we have a country that we promote freedom of people being able to speak their how they feel, and we have the right to pursue happiness, and to have our own businesses, and so this is envious. This is why our country was created to start with, because people leaving tyranny where they had rules and they were very oppressed of what they could do and the type of things they could have.
Absolutely. And it's a shame to try to squander it to go back to these failed social policies. I think we don't even realize the how socialistic that Kamala Harris really is, and how she's willing to take it further and further. And obviously we know that she's just on a puppet string. I mean, honestly, when I look at her, I don't even think she even wants to be president. She's really wore out with this. But it shows you the level of depth that these, that what you would call a deep state or sort of a global cabal, and the depths they're willing to go to really just kill our Constitution, kill this nation, and put us under some kind of one world control. It's the only thing I can make sense of.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk of that, New World Order, Davos. Why do we need a place like that that run by a certain conglomerate of people that only think about themselves? Really.
Sure.
So it's time for us to, it's that time again in history that we got to shake ourselves up. I mean, we were going to sleep right around December the 6th, 1941, then we woke up, you know, and so we need to wake up again.
Sure. And I think that goes for our state and local politicians. We've been asleep at the wheel for far too long. And we've let this kind of corporatocracy take over. We've let these people with their hands in the cookie jar while we weren't watching, and now it seems like we're playing catch up. Is what it looks like to me. So, well, I'm still waiting on them, y'all. So
I was just talking about your congressman here, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Sonia and I had met her while she was running. Sonia was running about at the same time, and you know, that's people like that have been called to duty, so to speak. Because people thought it's just rational and irrational and all this stuff. No, she knows the importance of, you know, how we need to run our country. It's no more, you know, social club anymore. It's no more doing favors on the table.
It's no longer business as usual.
No.
See, the people are involved.
That's right. That's right.
Let me say a couple of things about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Sure.
And it's back. I helped her get elected. Roy helped her get elected. We all helped her get elected because we saw the views that she had. And we believed in those views, and we still believe it. I've got 720 acres of Hong Kong-owned Chinese CCP land next to my 25 acres in Somerville. I called Marjorie Taylor Greene's office, and I hope she watches this podcast, 14 times over the last 8 months, and her office has not called me yet. But you know who has? Blake Ellsbury, Colton Moore. I've had conversations with good people. I'm here to say Marjorie Taylor Greene has fell in with the Democrats. She is a rhino. Now she speaks a lot of good stuff. She's going to impeach. What's she done? Can anybody hold her hand up and say she's done anything? She hasn't done anything.
Yes, she has.
What's she done?
She's done a lot.
Huh?
Yeah, of course she has. She's an expert on procedures. Congress, she has kept so many bills from being passed that were very harmful to us. She's President Trump's right hand. She talks to him every day.
So why hasn't she entertained the idea of this Hong Kong-owned Chinese CCP land that Brad Raffensperger and Brian Kemp had to sign off on to buy in Chattooga County in her district? She knows.
It is, the whole process is so incredibly complicated, and I'm not trying to be an expert on it, but, you know, the infighting where you're either all for this one or all for that one, you know, it's kind of a mess.
I can tell you this, that, you know, the government is designed for, you know, and the Congress operates on a method of compromise. You know, it's not just compromise within the Republican Party as far as their congressmen in office trying to get bills passed for their constituents, but it's compromise with the Democratic Party. Because, you know, that's the other half of our population. They're still brothers and sisters, literally brothers and sisters that are fighting each other. So it's extremely complex. I'm only a student of this. I've been involved since Trump, but what I've learned is, you know, at every level, when I knock on doors and get doors slammed in my face, that there's another door opening right around the corner, or there's another aspect of this that I need to try to gain some type of understanding for. And it's been something that, you know, Sonia and I, we talk about this early in the morning before we even get out of bed. You know, we have to be the ones that get up and try to do something. You know, we overcommit ourselves to this when we should be concerned about our personal issues. And I understand Congressman Greene has gone through a lot personally, as well as in Congress with the fights of the different congressmen in their own party, as well as the Democratic Party and everything like that. I just hope that whatever issues that she has, that she finds her way through that, because she has been a voice over the period of time that people revere. Everybody has their good days and bad days. There might be some things going on that we don't even know about that she's challenged with. So I just say this, we have to have faith that because God is all knowing and He's everywhere. Mm-hmm. And that He makes sure that He got me out of bed this morning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So He's going to prevail. We have to give them our support and try to deep dive into this a little bit further.
Sure.
Because there's a lot that's going on in either side, really.
I agree. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm pretty happy with Marjorie for the most part. I know that there's things, especially, I know exactly what Jerry is bringing up, which is a really big issue in Chattooga County and all over America. And, but we also have to look at, like you said, how overwhelmed that people like her, and I had Colton Moore on the show on Thursday night, we can pick and gripe about these people quite a bit. But at the same time, we're talking about single-digit people who are willing to stand up and actually get their voice out there and try to represent. So, are they perfect? Absolutely not. And I can understand both sides, but for the most part, she has an excellent voting record. I think she's represented the people pretty well. And it's things like that Chinese property and stuff that we've got to keep plugging at. No matter what, our responsibility to get in touch with our local and eventually get to a point where we can deal with things like that. But we're fighting a huge battle right now, and it's hard, I think, for everybody to reach out, everybody to tackle every issue. I certainly wouldn't want that responsibility on me. So,
I used to think like that because I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner,
right.
But if you believe in Christianity, what does it say? We're forgiven. Mm-hmm. All we have to do is, just,
right.
And we're forgiven. So you can't be saying, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. I would say, for most of my life, I always was like, I'd rather just sit in front of television, right? So I love television.
What do we all?
I love to watch it, the fanfare of it all. Mm-hmm. But it's all about getting involved with our country, particularly. We're not in Iran, we're not in England, we're not in France, we're in America. And this country it evolved from the grassroots of us all,
Sure.
And I believe our forefathers, some of them might have had some kind of hang-ups or something, I don't know.
Sure.
I think they were pretty good as far as that document they designed, ultimately.
Oh yeah, they were ahead of the curve on that.
Yeah, they did that was 100 plus on that.
Right.
But I think that, if we all would just do our part, and that's what this is all about. My minority engagement is to let everybody know that, no, you don't try to depend on the government. You try to work with them, try to support them in the little ways.
Right.
In your community. If you see something going on next door, you need to try to maybe say, take note of that, and think about it for a minute or two. If it's rational, irrational, if it's criminal, if it's and get out there and be active rather than I'm not going to have anything to do with that.
Right.
Let's just step on that little bitty level, and then I'm a student of politics. I've been involved on and off for most of my life, but just recently, since 2016, I've been involved quite some. And I've been knocked on my feet. I've been, not physically, but, figuratively. But I get back up.
That's right.
And to try it again. Maybe there was something I was missing. I keep on saying, when I think about Josh McCool, because I've gone head to head with him a couple of times. But I said, well, maybe there's something I'm missing. Then turn around and try it again.
Right.
Another way, another angle.
Yes.
But I've also found, that we're not perfect people, and things happen that, maybe we need to really explore a little bit more and get our own house together,
right,
and everything like that. But regardless of me getting into anything a little bit there,
right.
I say that, for the most part, our party is a party of the people, it's a party of the rights of freedoms of the individual, it's a party that initially was a party to eradicate slavery.
That's right.
I mean,
That's exactly right.
I don't know how much you all
is,
know about that. That's
that's
why
right.
it was formed.
and history is
I
twisted it
can't,
up.
I can't deny that as an individual, as an African American. I can't deny that. So, anybody talk about Democrats and stuff like that, and I see the programs that they have created to eliminate the father out of homes just to get a paycheck.
Create a total dependency.
It's totally immoral and everything. As an educator, so much that you see.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'd like to reiterate a little bit on that. So, I think the grassroots movement, everybody in this room is part of the grassroots movement. So, and going back to Marjorie, Marjorie kind of broke the mold on the establishment candidate, right? I'm not saying like Rhino, I'm talking about the established GOP candidates. There was a system in place. We all know this is a club. This is the way it went. And she was one of the people that actually paved the way for this grassroots movement as back in the early teens when she went against Dr. John Cowan. And a lot of Republicans were really uncomfortable with that, So I give her a mass amount of credit for breaking that mold. And so now we have grassroots people who were wide awake and we're in the fight. And what we want is we want to just snap our fingers and everything just rights itself. The ship just turns. And I think that's a little bit of an issue with our grassroots, because we have to understand that in order for things to change, they can't change overnight. It's a process. You're trying to enter in this already well-established, baseball game. And so a lot of times we have knee-jerk reactions and we get really emotional, and really it's the long game and it's the little bits. It's events like this that slowly chip away at that establishment. And we got to remind ourselves of that sometimes. Like we're not going to get all the answers we want. We're not going to get that finger snap and things are going to be great. We're going to have to put in the legwork out here together and find better people to represent us that's going to do the right thing.
Yeah, it's very painstaking and soul searching. It's just like raising a child.
That's right.
It's a give and take type of situation. But yes, that's what I'm all about. That's my overall mission and objective. Like I said, American pluralism.
That's right.
That's when we'll get to that point where we can get back to influencing the rest of the world.
Right.
To be in that particular persuasion.
Right.
But I think that yes, you're right. Places like this, and people like Ms. Knowles right here.
Yes.
That's where it starts. That's where it starts, and it rejuvenates, because we're constantly entering and exiting the situation all the time.
Yes.
Some of us are getting to the point where we need to sit down and maybe think about what restaurant we're going to live in. But others, they're out there, they have a lot of energy.
Right.
They maybe need some guidance, but I think that this is a rejuvenated process. But, it's like you said, there's certain times that, it's more urgent than others.
Right. Right. I know we're still waiting on Joe. I don't know if maybe you want to send him a text and we can, Kayla, maybe you can talk to the everybody here, especially about the young Republicans,
Right.
and maybe we get some information. And we're just, like I said, waiting on him to chime in. So.
So pretty much we just, we recruit new young Republicans. We try to raise up the next generation of young people to take part and engage with politics, which is very important. And as you can see, not too many.
Right. Oh, it's always a struggle.
But it starts with just one.
That's right.
And that was the reason I stepped in. Nobody else was doing anything, so why wouldn't I step in? Maybe not everybody is that brave or that reckless.
If you had told me I would be up here doing a live stream in Floyd County, a few years ago, I'd have told you you're crazy, but here we are.
Yeah,
so.
right. The same with me doing this panel right now.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
But it's been a process and interesting witnessing the inner workings of everything so far. I would say it definitely is a lot more complicated than what it appears to be from the outside.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay, now I'd just like to say I have the judge on the line. He would like to continue our discussion on the phone.
Okay, instead of chiming in?
Yes.
Okay, actually, I have a cord for that if you want to bring your phone over here. And we can, it should sound pretty good. Let's see. Is he still going to try to come in on the live?
Judge, are you?
I'm not in the car. I can't do that.
I can't do that right
So
now.
let's go ahead and plug him in here. And let's see how this goes. Judge, can you hear me?
I hear
Great.
Okay, and can the audience hear?
Can everybody hear the judge on the phone? Okay.
All right. Judge Joe Brown, are you there with us, sir? Well, that is wonderful, Judge. You don't know me, but I was a part of Lucretia Hughes' big event a few weeks ago. We had you come in on a podcast. And this is a treat being able to have you again with us, even on the audio, sir. So you should not have any problem hearing anybody. So we've been waiting on you. I'm sorry, what? Oh, I'm Roy Hambrick, by the way, Small Town Underground. So I hope that I can get you on my show pretty soon. We'll talk about that later, Judge. But anyway, why don't you introduce yourself to the crowd and we'll get started.
I drove around, talked about it, just drove around.
All right, man. Hey, we all admire your work. I know a lot of this audience watched you so many times on InfoWars with Alex Jones, and it's just a pleasure to have you, man. So what's on your mind this evening, sir?
All right, well, I think that I won't mind, but let's see, we're going to start promoting and getting some of this corruption out of it. And what do we need to do?
Joe, Mr. Brown, can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right, I think what we have is we're going to try to put you on Wi-Fi. Can we get the Wi-Fi in here? So you're just a bit choppy, so we're going to try to put you on Wi-Fi, okay? I think we'll be able to capture you better.
You know, wait, somebody is open lines and also being recorded, so I'm getting an echo tag.
You are getting an echo?
You need me to do anything?
There's not a lot I can do about that, Judge. Let me see. We don't have an echo on our end, so it must just be coming through the equipment. Are you okay with it? Is it a small echo?
That's fine. I have it.
Okay. Well, Judge, we'll try again. I'm going to hold this phone up and make sure we've got some good service in the building until we get the Wi-Fi. So go ahead and continue.
Okay, right now, there's an opportunity to turn back something that we have to turn back. The United States, like it goes country in the world, that we forget on new advanced football, 2,000, the honor, accountability, ability. We like making illustration to places, non-profit purpose, and making those places islands or CEO, public safety and order, and sometimes trying to back around for up them, have boys and girls playing against men and women's sports, coming up with magic about all pronouns, whatever else you talk about. No guilt, no shame, no duty, no sense of purpose, no cause. That's very bad for the country. We are in a hostile situation world right now. That's the borders of that place. we have some Japanese, some misguided people that still stuck on trying to woke all they could focus on. It is an interesting form of race that I find rather stupid because they're relying upon information as provided by the front or what they want to sit down right there, just have a seat.
Anything you want to ask?
It's a mess.
Okay.
Opportunity was made to develop common cause with a lot of people ordinarily when these only through World War killed Stalin, the diametric positions get worked together, opposite. Attached to that, it had certain forms, United States of America community. With that said, any remarks about these?
So, Judge, we're here in Rome, Georgia, and I don't know how much that they might be under the influence of illegal immigration, but we just recently had an interview on Fox News. I don't know if you were able to view that particular interview with Kamala Harris and Fox News, where she they were trying to get her to give her account of, as the person that was in charge in the Biden administration of the immigration czar, so to speak, how she believed that operation how well that operation had been done. I think she admitted it had not been done well, but she didn't want to admit that herself. Could you give us your opinion on that?
Well, there's a that's going on back there. President of the United States has a status as chief diplomat and also has pardon power. Now, you will notice certain areas, basically places that are out of states. What can happen is that the president can grant amnesty or pardon someone for their criminal activities of sneaking in across the southern border. What happens is that she can also declare asylum for people who would be considered political refugees that they, which was probably about 3 years ago. That means in 2027, what happens is if somebody is just granted asylum, there's a peculiarity of American law. They become citizens automatically without having to go through the class legal immigrants go through, passing certain tests, and becoming culture, politics, the law, traditions of the country. So for the midterm and the next administration, you will have a map who will automatically qualify vote and will receive full citizenship. And you can be a good to monopolize or the Democratic Party to be effectively a party in it. So we have to work out that. That's one thing and what's happening southern border. The mainstream is not reporting that.
Yes.
Keep it big along. The other thing, we set up Homeland Security in the Act because we had one part. But now, are more people than ever forward, considering what's going on east and in Ukraine. We don't have to hijack port come into ours. We have military Chinese crossing the border. They appear to organize what looks to be military platoon and squad. And then here, okay, unvetted backpack, they could easily carry military explosives. They're getting tricked by government, the various conflicts around the country. I'm sure what is on is that it's already posted about various strategically critical places. There's another 82% of the countries in American Harbor Act are made in China. Big ones that containers of all yes. And they discovered to have serious, which are believed cases of cannot be and disabled, look like speakers, like somebody feels elated that charges, and you don't have to take airplane. They feel with our 7 communications, Bible fact, soil water. So we have that group. We have the Z, 15,000 murderers been released. We've got 60,000 people who convicted of drugs who are in our country. We have some been convicted of things who are at with no way to track them down. And quite a few who have felonies getting in here, it is automatic to crash the board. We also, who are setting up very cities, I read federal act dealing with Harvard initiatives is being critiqued by all of these people setting up these things where they should give of conspiracy. And it is that no one prosecute people who are probably dead set on a team of getting mad plus a new vote in about 2 months when that time starts on when the first engine started coming 3 years ago.
So, Judge,
Undo this.
we had a particular participant just recently brought about the question, since in this very location of where we're speaking, the Chinese are buying property by the hundreds of acres, possibly more, and moving in neighborhoods, when people like even Congressman Green, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a congressman that represents this area, can have little to do about that. What is your perspective of with the present administration, of course, and with possibly a Trump administration, as far as making the moves to eradicate this type of positioning by foreign leaders, foreign property investors? How can we slow this process, and what threat does it make to our society?
The main reason that this is occurring is there are people in position violating upholding law and enforcing, and they are acting, conspiring to break the law.
When you say in position, What position are you talking about, Judge?
The law.
Okay.
Now, Part 53 also has something to say about the $42 billion used for rural to the internet. The law would be in charge of that, but nothing. We don't know where. I suspect it's used in the hack it doesn't just hit federal or actively policies, but also misuse appropriation funds that have been earmarked and used for. So that's something that is being done. There's $42 billion federal funds that seem to have disappeared from the charts. And I suspect that when some to the bottom of that. Now, when you have the Attorney General State Department, the Attorney General, the President, and the executive branch, what we have is effective, so to speak, the attorney on, and we've had the attorney in his office look at what's going on in our city, used to make all law. It's a new word, and invented basically it, well, to process of the Democratic Amendment. Now, what you see in New York is precisely what Christ was meant to prevent. But we have right now been talking about changing the First Amendment. It's not outright against repealing the Second Amendment of North, and that in this is very right process we're talking about. We are coming, warned her, even if you would, well, let's say, we want to see, so we're talking about Fourth Amendment. Black people hear that represents is something that years ago, Nazi Germany. And we want our grandchildren to explain to the world Germans which was how we're looking at everything from French roots to the Nazis started in 1933, 1920. Everything to Euro opposed Nazis in 1934 about that. Gun control on the way there, shootings in Stuttgart and some other areas. So we're considered right to be on, not the member of the party, Nazi party. And we're getting exactly what is the birth of Weimar Republic, Nazi Germany. We have free media, just this acting propaganda for this move, and what it is all about, or think of it, is the imposition of a toll on the United States. We can't put a face in a courtroom, courthouse, city hall, capitol. You can put the court of Islam there, or doesn't Siva or I can't put it in, put it in any place, but you can put paint. And I'm not kidding. Get your free on at your business. But I'm talking nihilist cause that is against guilt, shame, where everything and nobody else is so responsible or accountable.
Judge, we're gonna get some,
Faith, so to speak, that someone who imposed for penalty of character that most of the world attempted to impose on them.
we're
I
gonna,
think that, and it definitely acts the black community. We have a black caucus in Congress that in 40-some years have petitions and added points to make a difference at the time. Everything introduced or sponsored by the black caucus is in fact something that the Liberty Caucus is attempting to pass. What is the Liberty Caucus? The Liberty Caucus also is known as the LGBTQIA caucus. And just about everyone was a black caucus, so a member of the Liberty Caucus. We have people who, like us, who are elected us, and do not have our Christian heart, have not delivered the image of next time, for example, is supposed to do what? Protect from disease, does it? And it came for many years to who the beneficiary. One thinks of the mob for somebody, and that person murdered. Well, him and killed because why did anybody murder for it to be kidnapped? Somebody, I mean, the police, somebody can be kidnapped. That becomes the thing. It doesn't have to be a mob. It could be one person. One person doesn't even have to keep somebody. If one of the reasons for beating is if somebody is already affected. Now, what does that mean?
Judge, let me ask you a question when you get a chance, and I want to open it up to the floor in a minute, but do you, I know you've had lengthy conversations about our Democratic presidential candidate, and of course her vice presidential candidate as well. Is there some type of background that they have that would promote this type of government interference? And is it influenced by our China or Russia? Where is this coming from?
Well, let's start here. Whatever which is not black, fine. It is connected. She was in point, she was a southern. That's what I'm. And that means for praise. And although they're the Canadian culture, there's big differences. One of them that the people who live in it are not. They are subject in these crimes. They don't have out there right have, and they don't think is entitled, and well, I don't entitlement, but rights of a citizen. She's not in the situation where people fellowship are their people in competitive liberty.
So she's not really qualified.
That said, she's also a prolific liar and she's a fraud, as is one. Let's start with him. He says he was a coach. He was not. He was a coach. He had the touchdown, and that seems to be more in terms of him being such easy on board rather than scoring touchdown football. Somebody might want to ask him why he got out of the teaching profession and the accusations against him at the time. These things are not good, and we might also know why he's not on legislation that puts an 8th grade boy bathroom food. All right? Kamala Harris. I was in California for a motion, free. And she repeatedly felt, isn't it? Meaning India, a Hindu. I was, when she started by herself black, after she was best we find, as can been revealed, that these so-called black relatives that she is presenting as her relative, not in fact correct. She famously dealt with obvious black woman, supposed to be grandmother, but in terms of the diet for Kamala, by the way, Kamala, the name of the Hindu goddess, has nothing to do with black. So, what exactly supposed to be? Well, let's examine it more. He supposedly was in her garden in Harlem, smoking dope. This is Tupac. Well, when she was born, Tupac was 10 and 11, at least first single, 21, when she was a prosecutor county, California, prosecuted possession of quantum. Okay, let's look. She was cleaning cookies in the dormitory bathtub. Now, you know my mother beat the devil out of such things. Want to tell me all of these kids marks, Patty White, washing their bathtub, was to be clean. People, we don't call it clean free. We call it digging. So who teaches? Her Hindu mother? Right. No. See, we get series of it just goes on and on and on.
So at this time, let's hear from the audience, and maybe we have some local residents that have some concepts or questions they want to ask you about how you feel the direction of the country is going. Is there a question from the audience at this time?
Question?
We have someone coming forward at this time.
Hi. Is this on?
It's on.
Okay. I have a question about the Tina Peters conviction out in Colorado, where she was just sentenced to 9 years in prison. People I've spoken to say there's debate on whether, if President Trump was elected, whether she could be pardoned or not, since it's in state court.
Has authority, absolute question the Constitution pardon. And by the way, since he's also he's diplomat under the Constitution, also has
Thank you.
authority to classify copies. He can override his general, and he can certainly override the Secretary of State, who is not the diplomat. The case recently that was United States Department of Navy versus Egypt, EA, a 1950 case, and there are different opinions and stuff. The Department has absolute authority to classify any document in any fashion that he chooses to. So I depart the art department. 1803 American case known as Missouri versus Matt. And amongst other terms for the president is not found constitutional act. And part of the constitutionality would be in this archiving act, requiring that yield to the part of a group of archivists, not elected, have no constitutional authority, no security, and he is outside. We have out and go after him something that he fall. And as a matter of fact, I think in those documents, because I got to read the down of not one, two, but three laptops. You've never heard of it for free. The news media think that there's one, but I do think you put him on hold as testimony, not proud, read the down, folks. A great week. And what's in that indicates that what Trump him and Mar-a-Lago was very incredible. And both sides, they're even spite house those things. And those tickets are not just off, they're video. They didn't stop. So somebody, remember that stuff you heard about the behind the bed? Well, there are many the emails have your turn, or have your free that can review the information by what did they say? More than 8. It's unbelievable what is something that is totally un-American. This is not fundamental. This is just not crooked policy. This is something not right. Now I'll resist. This is getting a little bit fun.
Any other questions from anyone? Judge, you know that Georgia is a battleground state, and the results of our election in 2020 were definitely questioned. However, we had judges that basically allowed the rulings about the election from the election officials to go through without questioning, based on the complaints that even myself saw in the precincts and the counting processes. And fast forward to 2024, looks like Trump is going to certainly is growing in his popularity, his numbers of people that are showing up to the polls, people that are favoring him. However, we have not changed our election process to the extent where Dominion voting system is still in place. And so to me, that's the 800-pound gorilla in the room. How was your view about that? Do you think that that would be a major impediment?
That is something important to look into. The Dominion systems are, shall we say, We had much bank profit in Shelby County. Since 2000, Justice Department placed every voting machine, give that a quarter, reporting on the voting machine. And I find it that in January 2021, the report that vote practice is of this was 2020. 2 days after that report, the quarter county reflected that and the were very and that there were showing fair election. This is the largest error. So what did it? Which one? So we that process. Make it to. That's the way you be fair. Hold on. Your vote box. Demand for local news and Bible holding the local give out their licenses on renewal. If you don't like the current county, you do the process. You when the permit, the current old your courage. And you can't get yourself to the blame. Most likely that your local should not be on the level of fair process.
Judge, you're coming in a very low audible level, but I have one question from the audience, and then possibly we could, yeah, we possibly can have a last question from one of the audience, and maybe we could wrap this up. We certainly appreciate you being here. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Judge Joe Brown, I had a question. I heard you, and I want to circle back. You were saying that obviously there's some nefarious dealings going on with buying Chinese land. Did I hear you right to say they're conspiring to break the law? Our politicians, our governors, our senators, our Congress, when it comes to buying this foreign land on our soil?
Yes, so. Just think from an perspective.
Thank you, sir.
That means it should be quite something that the president with on a border base as a map here. And by the way, one thing Kansas doing and getting notoriety talking Paula Harris to be black, which he's not. But here is, I will have out of all he's in the history of the United States for the office of president. He has the lead with his hands down. Both of our academics were on that knows by intent to citizen resident. So they and she has with this country. She claimed to want each year because she and we should you a good person because he's white. But being blunt about it, he's listening who I can't vote for. It's just right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Judge. The audible is coming in, a little bit less. more we go on, but we certainly appreciate you coming to our event tonight, this afternoon, and I certainly appreciate all the answers that you've given us. I'd like to remind folks that we are continuing to offer you for a tour of the state of Georgia. We're appearing next in Marietta on the 24th and 25th. And also, you will be having an event tomorrow with Candace Owens in Nashville. But thank you so much. We appreciate you and what you have contributed. And hopefully we've learned, gathered a more comprehensive perspective of this election and the position of where we are in history with this election. And we certainly appreciate your contributions. Thank you so much, Judge. We'll talk to you soon. Yes, sir.
This should be great opportunity. We have come together as a community, way around, for a person behind something don't have in common. That is our, the way it's really nonsense. We have that differences and come to love hope that taking time. We have opportunities that with the third of moral anxious. It is one the methods of all. And we will experience 230 years old. In 7 times, I let still convey an infusion for us when you serve the purpose and in experience into what we know the wall and the Soviet is no longer it's Cal, Russia now. We find that world, so what go back to methodology. The Nazi and the fascist, and we know all were responsible. There is no need for that to take a cut. We have that difficult, we've been able to eat the conflict, all ideas.
Judge?
Also that the country people is on what they term of the
Judge?
analysis and objective application and principle. And we do not situation.
Judge, can you hear me, Joe? I'm sorry, our phone's cutting out pretty bad, Judge. Can you hear me? Yeah, our phone's cutting out, and Judge, we lost that last little bit, so we're just gonna, very much appreciative of you being with us tonight, sir.
Well, I appreciate, felt that I could, gotta get up and speak in this morning.
Yeah.
I'll be on it, to go over it, and again, I'll be there.
All right, well, we appreciate everything, sir. We hope to speak to you soon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Well, the best laid plans. I think we got some of it, but.
Yeah, every other word, maybe, it's like being in some type of
Well,
translator.
a lot of times with buildings like this, it's hard, so.
Yeah, but we certainly appreciate you showing up.
Yeah.
And the judge had planned to be here. The event that he's having tomorrow is going to make it difficult for his travel. So I certainly appreciate you being here personally. And it was an honor to work with Ms. Knowles here. I wish we could continue to have these types of meetings, these types of settings, and meeting the several of you that I have. And, we still got to November 4th, folks. So let's hang in there. Yes.
November 5th.
I mean, November 4th to vote. Oh, November 5th is the last one. I don't know what's wrong. Thank you.
It's okay.
I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I tell you, you
I
know,
hope I didn't make somebody chase it.
well, you know, I don't look at this as a total loss. This is the first one of these that I've certainly done. So obviously, it would have been better. We are hard lined in if we'd had Mr. Brown was able to be with us on the computer. So trying to use a cell phone signal in this building, even on Wi-Fi, I can tell you. So, but we tried, and you know what? Maybe we can do a rain check, and you can come down to my studio,
Certainly.
and maybe we can get him on there. We won't have any problems on
And
any
I'll certainly work on that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So this is number 2 with Joe and me. So we got a third time. I think it may be a
Third time,
charm,
that's
right?
That's
So.
right.
Well, look, I want to give you guys the last word before we get off of here. And what we may do is just kind of do a little bit of editing. We might take out some of the Joe Brown so we can get this message out to people, okay? And that way we can do this third time and get him where he's very audible. So what would you guys like to say to the people?
Get out and vote.
That's right.
Get up.
And, you know, thank you to the members of the Floyd GOP that came out tonight. I really appreciate that, and even other GOPs. Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you to Kayla and her family for being very supportive of me and my wife Sonia. And this was, it might seem small scale to you, but this is a big part of, you know, what we do as grassroots people. And in this, it started the way it did. I don't want to stretch it, but I probably would like to say this is a highlight of, you know, Sonia and I's anniversary. And so I think you did well. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We appreciate your accommodations. And,
Sure.
the first time we get, I'll be working on us to do another interview more
Yes.
audibly and to get points across. I thought he went over a lot of important things,
Mm-hmm.
but fortunately it was not where we wanted to be, but we
Right.
have to consistently work to improve that. Thank you.
Hey, y'all should know there's no shame in my game, so I'm willing to try anything. This, as far as I can tell, has been a success. We did not lose. We didn't drown out in the live stream. We'll go back and check it. But like I said, it's been a pleasure being over in Floyd County with you guys. Kayla, I know how hard that you work over here. There's so many good people in Floyd County that are really trying to get things going. So if nothing else, we're making more connections and just strengthening our grassroots base. So.
Thank you.
All right, well, we appreciate it, guys. We're going to get off of here. If anybody can decipher Joe Brown, I want a transcript of it. So, we're going to go for a third time's a charm.
First thing in the morning.
You know what? We may just drive up to Memphis and kidnap him, and we'll just bring him on down here and say, no, this is our time. So.
That's right. That's right.
All right, we're gonna sign off here. Hey, great event, good food, great people. We appreciate it, and wish we could have had a camera pointed to the crowd. But you guys have a great evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.